Welcome back, Warriors.
Yay!
We're so excited that you're here with us again this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are up to our next episode of Mundane Anxieties.
Mm-hmm. Lightly mundane.
I was waiting for you to do your Mundane Anxieties sting.
Oh! Mundane anxieties. Lightly. I feel like it's mundane, but it's not mundane because it can be really freaking intense sometimes.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So we are talking about travel anxiety today.
Yikes.
And so maybe this doesn't feel mundane for you. Maybe you have to do a lot of traveling. And what we mean by traveling, let's just have some clarity around what we're going to be talking about. Yeah. Traveling, like not just like traveling to work.
Right.
Not that kind of travel, not like I'm going from A to B and like I have to go to pick up my kids from the school bus line kind of
not
thing.
Commuting.
Yes, exactly. We've covered that already, folks.
Yes.
Head back to our driving anxiety episode, also in our mundane series. This is going to be more about like vacations and road trips and
planning and schlepping and overthinking and all the fun things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So how does this show up for you?
I mean, recently, not so much, right? Pandemic really impacted travel.
That's a separate one.
Yeah. But oh my God. Like, first of all, when I lived in New York, whether I lived in New York City, right, or I was living upstate, to fly anywhere, to actually travel was the biggest schlep. Because first of all, I would either have to take a bus to Port Authority in New York City. From there, catch a subway or a shuttle to like JFK, right? Or instead of taking a bus, drive and deal with parking at an airport, right? To get to the plane, right? So already that's a big schlep, right? But even before that, I have a problem packing. I probably start packing my suitcase like 2 weeks in advance. I take the stuff out multiple times, look at it, put it back in. I check the weather. Because maybe I should say this. I don't check luggage. I always take a carry-on. Yeah. And so I need to get the most perfect things that I can wear multiple times, or if it's hot and cold and all fit into my carry-on suitcase, which I think they've made smaller over the years too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so there, that's where it all begins, is with the overthinking of the packing, the overthinking of the weather of where I'm going, and then from there, it's like getting to the airport. Am I driving? Am I busing and subwaying? Am I, what am I doing to get there? And then how much time do you give yourself to get to the actual airport? Right? Because
are you an early goer or a wait till the last minute kind of goer?
I'm an early goer, and Dan is a wait, not till the last moment, but like, he feels like he's pretty pro at it all. And I got to be honest, he is, but it always gives me anxiety, right? Things that have helped is like having the pre-check. That's helped me. You don't have to take off your shoes and pull out your liquids. But I'm always like, I got to get there early in case the line is long, right? Isn't that what it is? In case the security line is long. But then I'm always sitting in the airports too long.
Yeah. You're just like waiting around to get onto a giant tube that takes you somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's someplace you want to go.
Right. And I would say, I mean, I think they've always been, even when it was for work, there was something fun once I got to the destination. Right. But then there's also the anxiety of like, so I traveled to a ton of like new places in like the United States I'd never been to. Like I taught a training in Boise, Idaho, and I taught a training in San Diego, and I taught a training in St. Louis, Missouri. And, so there's the planning of where am I going to stay? And when you get, off the plane at the airport, it's like, do you Uber? Do you grab a taxi? Do you rent a car? Right. So like there's all the overthinking and all of that. But then once I finally would get to my destination, then I always felt, woohoo, I'm excited for this next part. Yeah. Totally. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I like to plan a lot of things. I don't like planning travel. I don't like for me, a lot of the anxiety goes into planning the travel. So it's just like, I have loved packing. I am I feel really solid in my packing skills. I'm really great at making lists of all the things we are going to need on our trip. And as you said, like checking the weather stuff, that typically doesn't stress me out. I still feel like very secure in I know what to pack for myself and I know what we need to pack skills. So that's never the worry. And I'm good with that. But I hate deciding I like deciding what we're going to do when we get there, but then I don't like being the one to book the thing.
Yes.
I don't want to book the reservation. I don't want to call the person. I don't want to go online and find the best deal on that one excursion. I don't want to hunt for great ticket prices for the airlines.
Oh my God.
I fucking hate doing that.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. Right. It's just that. So that's a lot of like, I don't like doing that. And so I don't typically, it sounds like you've definitely done more travel on your own, right? For work purposes. I do not travel by myself often, very rarely. And so it feels very stressful if I'm going someplace myself without Adam. Because I have to do all the things that I hate doing.
Yes.
And then being forced to do them. If we're going away together, he's really good at planning and organizing all of the back end stuff, booking the flights, finding the good deals, booking the excursions. We confer about like what we're going to do, but then he goes ahead and does it. And then I attend. And I really love because I feel like generally when it comes to our at-home schedule, I'm in charge of that. What are we doing on the day-to-day, week-to-week kind of deal?
Yeah.
And so we kind of struck a nice balance there. But for me, it's a lot where a lot of anxiety comes in is just the pre-planning of like, where are we going? How long are we going to go for? Who's going to watch our dog? Okay. It's my parents typically good for that. So that's one anxiety that's down, I mean, I also have some trouble, with turbulence. I don't like turbulence. I freak out, especially if I'm on the plane alone. And then like, I don't have anyone to squeeze their hand.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly not going to touch my neighbor for multiple reasons, and I just feel like, okay, I have to just tap in and, but doing it by myself feels really challenging when I'm on an airplane because I just have anxiety being on an airplane. Not as bad as it used to be, but it still creeps in, especially if I'm traveling alone. Even when we're together, like, and I have all the, the ability to have that support from my partner, it still feels not great. Yeah. So there's that too. And I really don't like road trips. Road trips always sound great in theory to me, but I don't want to be in the car for any more than like 90 minutes. If I'm in the car, whether I'm driving or not, which don't ask me to drive, I really don't want to drive to a far destination. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, because of my driving anxiety. I mean, so it winds up being like an overlapped anxiety. It's like whether I'm a passenger or I'm driving, I just don't find road trips to be that fun. I do a better job if I'm a passenger.
Yeah.
Way better. But I still feel like my body gets stiff and uncomfortable really quickly and easily. And so I want to get out a lot.
Yeah.
Just to move. I feel too constrained in these vehicles that take you cool places.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I feel really constrained. I feel trapped in a car. I feel trapped in an airplane. I feel trapped in a bus. I feel trapped in a train. I don't want to be in these vehicles for more than 90 minutes.
Oh my God.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
To go pretty much anywhere interesting. Right. And so like, it's just a lot of like mental preparation and making sure that if I'm not in a situation where I'm in charge of the vehicle, like driving my car, that I have plenty of things to distract me.
Right.
From that anxiety. So that's kind of where my travel anxiety lives for the most part.
I'm so amused how different we are with this, like, first of all, I love road trips, right? Ugh. Again, it's like the pre-planning, like, okay, what do I need to pack? Like where am I going to stop? But like, I mean, I was in college, like my senior year, and this girl who was my friend, this friend and I, we road trip from New York to Florida for spring break.
Oh, hell no.
And like, I mean, I don't know how we did that at like 22. Like we were babies, right? But like that was so fun, right? And I remember having fun. And then like I road trip to move to Denver. I packed up my car with my stuff. I figured out the places to stay along the way. 2 times it was with friends. 1 time it was at an Airbnb. And like I had a lot of fun on that road trip, and it was just me, right?
Sounds like one of my worst nightmares that I could think of.
Yeah, we road trip together to New York the first year of the pandemic in 2020, and that was fun. So it's God. I love hearing this. And then like I traveled a lot by myself for work, but then like I went to Australia by myself and I had to somehow navigate all that at like 25. Like how the heck did I do that? Right. But
you just have a more heightened sense of adventure than I do. Like,
I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely it. It's just that I don't, and I'm very much a homebody. There's that. I like visiting new places. We've traveled, to some amazing places all over the world.
Yeah.
We look forward to, hopefully, knock wood, many more years of traveling to new locations. I do better on planes because they get you there faster, even if it still takes way too long. Yes. But I still have less anxiety there than I do with the idea of like when you said driving to Florida, which from New York to Florida, it's like about, if you were to not stop, right? It's like a 24-hour drive if you were to not stop.
I think a teeny bit less.
Okay.
I think it's because from Denver to, and I'm talking to Woodstock, I'm not talking Long Island.
Right.
That's like exactly 24 hours if you didn't stop. And I think to Florida, it's a teeny bit shorter, maybe like 22 hours, I don't know.
Yeah. A long fucking time.
Yeah.
I had I felt a full wave from my head to my toes when you said that. I couldn't even explain it. I just felt wrong. It just felt wrong. I'm like, I would have murdered someone if you said you're going to be in that car with someone, even if you like that person, for 22-ish hours for over the course of several days. I mean, it sounds awful. I'm so happy for you. But like, nope. If I drive 6 hours, I want a fucking parade. I want you to tell me that you're proud of me, that I did a great job. I drove once when my sister she lived in Pennsylvania briefly. And I did most of the driving because it was after work and I had less of a work day than Adam did. And so I did the whole thing. He drove us back home.
Yeah.
I said, I'm like, I'll do the whole drive myself, but it was nighttime because we wanted to wait until after there would be no rush hour traffic because we were leaving on like a Thursday night. And so we left in the dark, which it's like, what the fuck was I thinking? I don't like driving in the dark to new places I've barely been to, like twice at that time. I get behind my fucking wheel and we drive for 6 hours. It was a hell of a road trip. Let me tell you, an owl the size of my windshield came flying across the windshield. I almost killed us because of this. This was just more solidification why I should never be driving us anywhere when it comes to road trips. On the same trip, thank God there was a car in front of us because it was very, it's a very mountain terrain where I was heading. And so we were basically on this cliff for like 50 miles or something insane. And it was dark. So I look out to my left and it's just air. There's no road over there. There's no road. So now Adam, it's like 11 PM. I'm just like punching Adam in the stomach. Like, you better stay awake, bro. You better stay up. I am not going to do this alone. And thank God there was a car in front of me whose lights I could kind of anchor to a little bit. Otherwise I literally would have felt like I was driving off a cliff. Maybe I would have driven us off a cliff. I have no idea. It was so dark. It was insanely dark. There was no lights anywhere.
Oh God.
I'm just working myself up now. I got to stop.
Yeah.
But point being, I agree. We are very different here.
Yeah.
Like I've been on several road trips, mostly because Adam's like, let's go on a road trip. And I'm like, okay, how many hours? Less than 5? Okay, great. I can do less than 5. I'm not driving. Great. Oh, we're meeting with a couple. Great. Who are the people? Okay, good. Like that's fine. All of that's good. But I cannot be in charge of any of that. Otherwise it won't happen or we're not going to have any fun. Like at all.
Right.
It's going to be miserable. Oh, good God.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm in a very different boat. Like when you just said like, if I'm in charge, it won't happen or it'll be miserable. You made me just remember. You'll figure out why it connects. I can't understand why it connects right now, but you made me think of the time I went to Iceland, right? Because you said miserable. And and so I was going there for part work, but then part joy, right? So I was going for work. I was going to teach 3 days over 10 hours each day, so 30 hours total. And then Dan was meeting me on the final day, and we were going to go adventure and explore Iceland. Okay, so this was like 2019. And first of all, one of the things I hate about flying is when you have to take 2 planes, when you have a layover and you have to take a new plane. No. Yeah. And so I was going out by myself, right? And the company that I was working for, that was sending me to Iceland, wanted, even though the training started on Friday, they didn't want to pay for multiple nights of me staying anywhere. So I had to arrive by Thursday. I couldn't arrive on Wednesday.
Okay.
And the only flights from Denver to Iceland include a layover in New York City and then a direct from New York City to Reykjavik.
Okay.
And fun fact, I know how you like fun facts. Fun fact, when you are flying into JFK, you might have to leave the terminal and go through security a second time. Did not know that fun fact when I was traveling. So I'm flying out of Denver. I'm ready for Iceland. I've packed. I've done all the overthinking. Now I'm early into my airport at Denver, flying from Denver to JFK. And of course, the plane's delayed. So get to JFK, learn right away, oh, wait, I can't stay in this terminal. I have to leave the terminal, catch a shuttle to go to another terminal. And then I have to go through security again. And another fun fact, they don't care about TSA pre-check when it's international. So all that stuff I said earlier about not having to take your shoes off and show your liquids, you do have to do it in that terminal.
Yeah.
Super long line. So I'm like, oh my God, I've planned everything to a T and now I'm screwed. And so this is a red eye, right? So I'm supposed to catch a Wednesday night and get there Thursday morning. I can't miss that flight. There's no other flights. Otherwise I'm going to miss the training.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least be late to it. So I make it to the plane. Fortunately, that plane was delayed. Right. And so I get to Iceland. Now, because I had left the security place in a hot mess of anxiety and chaos, I didn't tie my shoes totally properly. Get to Iceland, get to Reykjavik, get a taxi, drive 45 minutes to the place that I'm staying, get out of the taxi, like, super jet lagged, tired, saying, thanks so much. Take about 5 steps and my one loop of my shoe connects to the cross in my other shoe because it's like a hiking shoe. And I trip and fall on the only piece of plywood that's in front of me. And it splits my knee open in a country where I know 2 people, right?
Yeah. I remember when this happened.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait, first of all, is this a big deal or not? I literally my knee is split open, but I'm not bleeding the way I think I should. And it doesn't hurt the way that I think it should hurt. Right. It's not good. Right.
Right.
So first I'm texting this person I know that's a doctor. And I'm like, do you think this needs stitches? I'm in Iceland. It's
oh my
8,
God.
9 in the morning in Iceland. I have no idea. Right. And so then I'm trying to get in touch with my Icelandic friends. And they were one was go to the hospital. Here's the address. So I had to call one taxi. They picked me up. They take me to the hospital. The hospital's like, hey, we'll charge you $600. But if you go to this clinic, meanwhile, I'm limping. I'm by myself this entire time, limping, holding paper towel to my knee.
My God.
I don't know what to, I'm by myself. Right. They're like, go to this clinic. It's cheaper. So I go to the clinic and they're like, oh yeah, you need stitches. And right before they start the stitches, my one friend showed up. she like tracked me down. She went to the hospital and they're like, oh, the American, we sent her to the clinic.
Oh my God.
And she was there holding my hand as I got 5 stitches and it was only
Aw.
$80. But the part where you said the miserable part is the part where,
I mean, that all sounded pretty miserable.
yeah, because then I had to teach 30 hours with stitches in my knee, a yoga training.
Yeah.
You
need your knees.
you need your knees. So that was fun. But so then the thing
that was fun.
but the part that like that when you said miserable, I had forgotten the part that Dan was meeting me afterwards. And we had all these plans to explore Iceland for the following week. We were going to hike. We were going to go in the hot springs, all things you can't do with stitches in your knee. Yeah. Right. And so I was like, and this was like early on into dating. We had been dating for like 7 months at this point. So I was like, oh, fuck, like I'm ruining our trip. Not on purpose, but my stupid knee was ruining our big trip. So we ended up doing a road trip around the island. It was
all
awesome.
right.
It was awesome.
You made the best of a really shit situation. I mean, it's like, when the plans you made are really grand and then they literally have to change on a dime because you're injured.
Yes.
It's like, man, I guess it's like, it could have been worse. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I like punished the shoes. Like the rest of the trip, I was like, I'm not wearing those bastards. No. Right. So it's like Iceland and it's like cold and it's like wet, but I'm like wearing flip flops because I'm like, I'm not wearing those shoes again.
I was like, were you in like ballet flats? Like what kind of shoes were you? Flip flops? Jesus.
Yeah. Which worked
it was at least
in the driving piece. Yeah. And it was warm-ish.
Warm-ish.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tolerable-ish.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That sounds... Yeah, I mean, I remember what happened with your knee, but like, I feel like I definitely didn't get all of those details.
Yeah. And I forgot the part that Dan was meeting me. So when you said miserable, like if you leave it up to me, we're going to be miserable. I forgot that piece of the trip where Dan was meeting me right after. And here I am, like I can barely walk on my right leg. You know, you can't shower. You have to stick your knee out of the shower.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it sounds, we're making it sound like it's like nobody travel anywhere. It's like, I hope that's not just every one of you listening warriors. We know you have stories like this, right?
Yeah.
Travel is so amazing. It's so worthwhile and rewarding and fun, hopefully, and filled with just amazing memories. I mean, so many trips that we have taken, my family and I, Adam and I, my friends and I, by myself, never by myself on vacation. That I would never do. Maybe I shouldn't say never. That I don't think I would ever do, but meeting people at a destination, right? It's like, it's all great. There's so much, joy that can be had from exploring places and seeing the world, but you just have to work on finding the best avenues for you to help with your particular brand of anxiety when it comes to travel.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. I think what we'd like to leave you with is just, how can you set yourself up for success? What kind of anxiety do you experience with travel?
Mm-hmm.
Is it in the pre-planning? Is it in the overthinking? Is it in the packing and the organizing and getting all the things together? Is it in the deciding on where you're going to go and what you're going to do? Is it in the actual getting to the place where you're going to fly or take that bus or drive or whatever the situation is? Is it deciding which method of transportation you're going to take? Is it, what is it? What is it for you? Yes. Where the anxiety comes up, and then try to simplify it as best as you can. Are there tasks that you don't have to do that if there are people that are also going with you or going to be meeting you there or whatever, are they better at that certain things and they can take it on with you? Even if they don't do it for you, can they take it on with you? So maybe you don't feel like you're going it alone. Even if that's just like, I know for me, when I'm planning something that's by myself, if I'm going to go meet someone somewhere or some people somewhere, even if I'm having to do the work on my own, having the communication back and forth with the people I'm meeting or going with is helpful. Yeah. It's like a little bit of a support system, even if those people, aren't actually helping me do the work of like booking the flights and whatever else. maybe you want to, maybe pre-packing 2 weeks in advance feels really good. Like I know I'll just say quickly, like, Adam and I got married in the Dominican Republic. And so we had to literally pack so many bags and my wedding dress and shoes and his suit and all the things. And it was very stressful, but because I'm a good packer, I felt solid in it.
Yeah.
Then we had some debacles at the airport because like we had brought sand for our sand ceremony and I had mixed the colors to be certain colors in each container that were going to be blended together. And because they were not sealed anymore, they had been sealed and then resealed. They had to be opened and tested to make sure there was nothing wrong with this craft sand that I bought. So there was that. And like, it was just those little things though. You're like, okay, where are the hiccups going to be and how best can I prepare for those inevitable hiccups, right? Like everyone out there who's traveled anywhere knows, you all know warriors. You're going to experience problems in the travel. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be bumps in the road, maybe literally, maybe owls flying over your windshield, literally, right? Whatever it is. And how can you best prepare yourself for those inevitable hiccups?
Yeah.
Support from yourself? Is it support from others? Is it, making sure you have at least one or two people in another country, like Abby's situation in Iceland, that can help get you to a hospital and then come hold your hand when you have to get stitched up, So just take some time to think about your own feelings about travel anxiety and how you might best simplify things for yourself and show up for yourself by passing the buck or, making some decisions ahead of time that even if it feels unnatural to you, can you sit with the discomfort of doing it? And maybe you throw yourself that parade. Like after I drove that 6 hours and I wanted to be patted on the back, it's like, offer that to yourself. Why not? Pat yourself on the back for doing the hard thing.
Yes.
Right? If it feels hard, pat yourself on the back.
Celebrate it. Yeah.
Exactly. Celebrate all the wins. Speaking of, Abby, do you have a win of the week?
Win of the week. I do. So a few episodes back, I talked about my health and we think it's my thyroid and blah, blah, blah. But I went to this cardiologist just to rule out heart stuff. And that is a different story. But the summary of him is that if Joe Rogan was a cardiologist, I've met him. Right. And it is
He's not a
cardiologist,
story. Everyone.
Right. Exactly. And this cardiologist is a questionable cardiologist. But there was a lot of questionable things. It was pretty funny. I've talked to a couple people. It was shocking, the things he said. But the one good thing that came out of it was I've been really stuck in developing some type of working out routine that I can show up for and feel motivated and do. And he was giving me all these like suggestions like CrossFit. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to go inside, and also I don't want to do CrossFit. I'm 40. I'm good. Right. But then he said rowing. And so I was like, okay. All right. Looked online, found a really expensive row machine. Everyone was like, it's great for beginners if you want to see you're going to be a rower. Put that bad boy together by myself.
What? Well done.
And I've been enjoying rowing for the last few days. So
love it.
Yeah.
Put it together by yourself. I'm impressed.
Yeah. I wish I got a time lapse video of it. I was super proud of myself when I put it together. And you know what? For me, I can show up for 10 minutes. That's 2 to 3 songs on Spotify. Right.
Yeah.
And do my rowing. So at least I'm doing something consistently.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You should still take the picture or the video of you using the row machine and be like, I built that bad boy.
I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. That's a proud moment. That's like a double win.
Yeah.
Built the thing and committed to some healthy stuff for yourself. That's sustainable. Right.
Yeah. And even though the cardiologist said questionable things, I could still find one good nugget in there. And it resonated. So
there you go. Total psychopath of a cardiologist, air quotes around the word cardiologist for this guy. God, when warriors, if you could have heard the conversations Abby and I had after she visited this guy. But
very interesting.
We digress. We digress. Anyway. All right. That is a big win. That's a huge win. Love it. So warriors, we hope you'll take some time to reflect on this topic for yourself this week. Maybe chat about it over the dinner table with your community, your friends, your family, your kiddos. Tell some funny stories about travel. Or maybe some of them aren't so funny, you know, they might be funny in hindsight, like Abby's knee situation. Or is that still not funny?
No, it's funny.
Kind of funny.
All of it's funny. How I ended up in Thailand, that's all funny, right? It's like they're all cherished memories, even if at the time they were like a little weird.
Oh, totally. I love that. Cherished memories, even if they were kind of rough at the time. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. 100%. I'm sure our warriors can relate. So warriors, if you'd like to connect with us for any reason, you can join us over on Instagram. We're at Anxiety Warriors Podcast, or you can feel free to shoot us an email at anxietywarriorspodcast@gmail.com to shout out your wins of the week, share topic ideas with us, or if you think you'd be a great fit as a guest on our show, let's get you on the calendar. Let's help you tell your anxiety journey. No story too big or too small for us. We love them all equally. Please take 2 seconds and smash that 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're tuning in right now. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have all of our episodes uploaded for you all over there. And then hop on into our show notes and click our Threadless merch shop link. You can get some amazing Anxiety Warriors podcast stuff on everything from t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, journals, yoga mats, you name it. You can get something with our logos on it. To help support the work that we're doing and hopefully can keep doing, because it brings us so much joy.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you all so much for going on this journey with us. We are so grateful that we get to do this with you all.
Till next time.